Finally, we got something from RobTop, not really specific directly from him, but we did get something from somebody that is close to him. I don't know if the messages were intended to be sent to the community, but I am gonna share them because I do think that they are positive and are gonna calm the community down a little bit. So this guy, Mr. Sharktoons, he is a person that has been working with RobTop, as you guys can see, and he basically makes sound effects. You might have heard of him. He makes a bunch of sound effects for 2.2, and I think he is also making a bunch of songs. And we did get a bunch of information from him about what is going on with the update, how is RobTop doing, and all of the questions that we have been wondering about for the past few pretty much weeks now. So the first thing is that, of course, RobTop is working so ridiculously hard at this point. And we did get a bunch more messages that he's working 24/7 and stuff like that. So it's pretty wild out there for RobTop to get the update finished. And we did also get some progress update, which was also not bad. So we have pretty much, it's the first time he's uploading an update this big. And there's a lot of things connected to submitting the update, even though the update is pretty much done. Like all the major bugs and the levels are done. So right here, we cannot be 100% sure if what he's saying is correct or not, but we can take it as an example that some of the levels are indeed done, and the update is pretty much like close to being finished at this point. This is not like a 100% confirmation that it's finished. It could be that it's finished at this point, but we don't really know exactly. And yeah, regarding this thing about connected things to submitting the game to Google Play is something really, really, really annoying and just unnecessary garbage. Some of you may know that I have made games and published them on Google Play. And let me tell you, there are things that have absolutely nothing to do with what the game is, or some of the weirdest stuff, like things that nobody could come up with. I don't know how they come up with stuff like that, but it's a thing that also has to do with the game engine that he's working with, because I made my game with Unity back then, and it was pretty simple, straightforward. It was a very new engine. So you could basically export your game and update it to Google Play. However, even on the site of Google Play, you have to fill in a bunch of forms and then wait for review, and then fill in more stuff and then wait for review, and then do some very unnecessary garbage. Literally, this is the only way to define it. And the reason why I think it's taken this long is because RobTop is working with an engine that is a very, very old engine. It's this engine called Cocoast 2DX, and it's pretty much from 2009 or something like that. So it is very, very old. And when you take into consideration how different Google has become from 2009 until 2023, it's quite crazy. So getting the game there is obviously going to take a bunch of weeks, I would say, because we do remember from last year where he had to update the the Geometry Dash Meltdown, and also the other Meltdown, the spin-off games. He also did take a bunch of time to make it completely doable with the engine. So I think it is going to be doable, because if it's not, it's kind of horrible. But yeah, the engine is just so ridiculously old, and it's going to be hard. And here we have, now it's just a few tweaks and dealing with the submissions, which is a lot more complex and deep than it looks. And this is basically just the stuff that I have talked about right now. I said he's struggling to submit it because there is a lot of things connected to submitting the update this huge. And yeah, also another thing that we need to take into consideration when knowing why it's taking so long and not being too upset is the fact that this update is so huge, and also that it hasn't been updated in so long. So Google Play doesn't really have their eye on the game. And I think the main issue here is that the Google privacy policy and stuff like that has been updated so much since the last update that so many things have to be accounted for, and it's going to take quite a while to, get everything as functional as it's supposed to be. Yeah, this is kind of important about why RobTop is not active and why he's not letting us know about anything. And this is something that I've got a lot in my comment section. Like, we are not upset about that it's taken so long. We were upset that he's not communicating with us at all. And here he pretty much clarifies it, because this guy asked, do you know why RobTop isn't saying anything though? The hype kind of died. Because every time he says anything, it goes wrong. And he doesn't want to do it again. And this is very it's very understandable, because obviously, imagine if he again comes and tells us something and then it ends up being wrong again. I mean, he's been wrong like 2 times now, and people are calling him a liar, but I don't really see that as lying, because it's not really something that he is in control over. Like, he's trying his best, and it's just that he didn't estimate it correctly, and so lied is kind of the wrong word here, I would say. And yeah, this goes to explain why he's so silent, because he doesn't really want us, like, even if he like comes online and says, the update is doing good, when it is, we are probably going to think that it's going to come out very, very soon, which could be incorrect. He basically just want to avoid any misinformation or misunderstandings coming from the community. And here we have a little bit more. His last tweet was his attempt at what you guys are asking. And when it's your first time uploading an update this big, it's hard to judge what's left, even though all the bugs are fixed and all the levels are done. When did he last tweet and made it worse? Yeah, this is pretty much just saying exactly why he has been so silent recently. So the submission stuff is taking a long time. He's trying. I know it's hard to imagine. It just looks a lot more complex, and yeah, unnecessary garbage for Google Play and stuff like that. And yeah, here we have the 24/7 message, and he said that there is a chance that he sends it, if he could like send it this week, that there's still a possibility. However, I don't really think so, because this week is almost over. But maybe next week. I think he's aiming like next week or something like that. We don't really know. And also another thing I want to talk about at the end is the review times. And yeah, because Christmas and stuff is around the corner, so we're gonna have to see. So here we have a direct copy and paste from their DMs. So we have, do you even sleep? And RobTop said, I'm gonna go into hibernation when the update is out. I'll just put it that way. And yeah, this is just showing that he's dead. He's pretty much dead, working on the update. I can't imagine the stress level, and he says that sometimes he's awake at 3 to 5 a.m., which is kind of ridiculous. But this is even crazier. He said that he's been buying and searching for a lot of SFX, so sound effects, for a while now, and he's talking with companies about the usage, etc. And he has a whopping 750,000 sounds. This is quite unbelievable. Bro, like, just a little bit more and then we were at 1 million. 1 million sound effects. Bro, imagine browsing these in Geometry Dash. Bro, if we actually get 1 million sound effects in Geometry Dash, I don't think any level is gonna feel the same as the other one. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, to be honest. It's like we're gonna get constantly new sound effects. Like, there's endless stuff then. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. I mean, that's quite crazy, I gotta say. He said that it's very hard to submit it, and he's trying to submit it as fast as possible, but the core update is done. So that means the update itself is completely finished, which means that, basically the last submitting to Google. I think, I think App Store and Steam and stuff like that is all no problem. I think the only thing that he's struggling with is Google Play at this point, which I'm really upset about, because I don't want him to release it for different platforms first too. So yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. I can imagine why he's working so much on it, and I also respect that. So, but yeah, we get a progress update. The update is pretty much finished, which is not bad at all. The update is actually finished, which is it's kind of unbelievable to me that the update is finished. I just can't. Every time I say it, it sounds unreal to me, because yesterday I just talked about how ridiculous it must be to finish this update because of the bugs in the editor and stuff like that. So yeah, knowing that it's finished it's heartwarming for sure. And he doesn't have the beta or anything, and they mostly talk about development or music, and Viper knows more than him. Yeah, and the first one is correct that the UI, in case you guys, some of you do like game development, you have Unity, for example, where the game development is very, very easy. So if you want to put a button, you can like put it in there through, just like in the editor, you know, you drag, I don't have the button in here right now, but you basically drag the button and put it in there. However, in his game engine, you have to do it through code. And I've worked with his engine as well. It's a nightmare. It's way different. It's way harder than Unity. It's really like a level above Unity. The hardcore is absolutely insane. Yeah, his modified version of Coco's, and yeah, it's insane to me that he like what's most fascinating to me is the fact that he keeps adding stuff to the game despite the game engine being so old. Like he manages to still be able to push new content. It's just insane to me, especially because there's no help online. Like if you go online, this game and like nobody uses this game engine. Like it's so old. He's the only guy using it out there, so it's pretty much impossible finding help online. And yeah, I can understand why this is taking so long. And he said that he is gonna hire a bunch of people, but it's gonna take some time. And he said that after 2.2 gets released, he's gonna fix all of the bugs in it and then go to sleep. Go rest for a few days, which is also understandable. Yeah, I agree. He is a very good developer in my eyes. Working on a game like GD for 10 years is quite wild. It's really wild. Yeah, I respect that a lot. And yeah, I think a lot of you guys do also understand how hard it must be to be as a developer like that, working on an update for quite some time on a game that's now 10 years old. And the update is done, but Sharks has no idea when it's gonna come out. So yeah, quite crazy again, confirming that it is indeed done. And this is an explanation as to what the beta updates have meaning. So you have the beta updates are stuff connected to submitting and tweeting the game to avoid crashes. I think this happened also before 2.1 came out. There were a bunch of beta updates or something. I don't really know. But yeah. So every time you see the beta updates, it doesn't really mean that the game is not submitted to Google Play. Just something that I have said in a lot in my previous videos. But yeah, he confirms for the 10th time that the videos are done, the levels and stuff. And that 2.2 has a particle emitter trigger, so you can like enable it, I think, or something. I don't really know. Particle emitter system. I think you can like change how many particles there are live. I don't really know. And he's trying to make the game not crash on everyone's computer. That's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want that to happen to me. Yeah, and the service may actually crash if everyone gets on at the same time, which is also a valid argument. Yeah, and that RobTop doesn't really want to update Steam first and then let others wait, because it would be kind of awful, which RobTop has mentioned a lot in his messages and also tweets. And this is his dad's cat. This guy's cat. Pretty cool. But yeah, this is, okay, first of all, everything, okay, now that we have arrived to the almost end of the video, everything that you just said is something that Sharks has said, not RobTop himself. So everything could potentially be wrong. However, I highly doubt that it's wrong, but it still could be like inaccurate, a little bit inaccurate information, or, you know, some stuff that RobTop didn't really mean, or you guys know what I'm saying. Stuff that didn't directly come from RobTop. So that's something that we should account for. And also the last thing I want to talk about today is going to be the Google Play regarding their view times and stuff like that. So today is a Sunday, so tomorrow is a new week. And from there on, we have 5 days until RobTop is going to be finished with the update. And I've also heard that so many people are saying that from that week on that RobTop cannot submitted the game anymore because they have holidays and we're gonna have to wait until next year. But this is not accurate. I don't think this is correct. We're gonna have to see. The next week is sounds good. I think 21st is pretty cool. I will see you guys in the next video. Click on this right now, gamers. Bye bye. Love you guys.